Trøndelag
was a man. I mean, he was a dragon man. I mean, he was just a dragon.
If you don't know it, you missed out on a prime piece of childhood. You either play Guitar Hero or you know what Homestar Runner is. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Another county down, we are in Trøndelag. So whenever you see this O here, it makes the sound. Trøndelag. Trøndelag is the beginning of southern Norway. I also read that it's part of central Norway, but that is disputed, just like New Jersey. Some people say it's not a real place. Sound familiar? But most people agree that south of Trøndelag County is southern Norway. And southern Norway holds 90% of the population in Norway, which I've kind of felt, but at the same time, even up north, it's been fairly well populated the whole time. There hasn't been a lot of territory where I felt like I'm in the middle of nowhere, other than back up in Finnmark. And even that didn't feel really too out there. So now all of a sudden we're getting some agricultural production, industrial production, water and wind power. Before getting to Trøndelag, I was drinking from all the streams and feeling good about it. Now I'm seeing sheep and cows upstream and I'm a little like, wait until I get into an establishment to drink the water. Yeah, it bears saying up until Trøndelag, I have literally been drinking straight from streams, rivers, lakes, not boiling the water, not worrying about any of that. So Tim and I left Trøndelag County together and entered Vietnam. Bicycle tube?
Yeah, bicycle tubes and like cheap dry meals.
So Trondheim was the big destination on the maps. Tim and I were going to bike together to there and then split up after. But again, Tim was flying. And Tim is more of like a cyclist. He likes the speed. So maybe like 80 miles before Trondheim, we split off then in the town of Namsos. But in Namsos, we found a Thai buffet for $15, all you can eat. Are you kidding me? The highlight of my life. I ate so much that night, I ripped right through my hammock. Yeah, my hammock of 3 months, sitting over a barbecue pit, shredded right through, still working on that warranty. So the morning of the hammock split, Tim and I split up.
See what I did there?
I ended up sleeping at a rest area like just past this bridge. That day, Tim made it to Spain. I was probably 2 days out of Trondheim, and I was going to meet up with an old friend, Sarah from Senja. So she lives in Trondheim, and she was going to let me stay with her and her boyfriend for 1 to 2 days. So in the video here is actually where Tim and these two French guys slept, where I was sleeping at the rest stop the night before. Some cool graffiti. So the night before Trondheim, I slept in this kind of sketchy area. It rained for most of the night and into the morning. So much so that the rivers swelled. But eventually it stopped, and I was in Trondheim, fresh off the ferry. Ooh, and look at that, even a little blue sky out here. We might just hop on a cruise. This is where the New York Yankees of the Norwegian Football League play. The team is called Rosenborg FK. Rosenborg. And just like the Yankees, they are not that good right now. They are struggling, but the season is young. So Trondheim was founded in 997 by Olav Tryggvason. Maybe. But a lot of this is still up for debate. Not much is written down about any of this. It has a population of 210,000 people. It's a center for higher education. Sarah was studying here and the campus is gorgeous. It's also known as the Wooden City, and you can see here why. There's a lot of old wooden buildings dating back to the 18th century. This bridge here was built in 1681. It's known as Old Town Bridge, at a time when Norway and Denmark were one kingdom. So on the personal side, I realized I took no video of the time I spent with Sarah. But when I first got there, she had forgotten that she was having a dinner with some French friends that she had met in Senja on bicycles, and Swiss. So I was walking into a situation where there was a lot of stuff going on already. So I thought, hey, I'll make dinner. Sarah was working a job, studying for a test, all this stuff. So I make a pasta salad, which I must say was pretty delicious. And as I'm finishing up cooking it and all this stuff, the French and Swiss friends arrive. And I shit you not, Tim and I had run into these guys several times. I'd been biking with them in the last week. Sarah met them in Senya. So, like, when they were coming up the steps, I started freaking out because I was like, no way, no way. Small world kind of stuff. So, Trondheim, once again, the theme for all of this ended up just being I ended up meeting a couple of Sarah's friends. Sarah finished her Norwegian course while I was there. So we went out. I met her friends Sophie and Anne, another friend Cheyenne from Iran. Celine was back in town, the French woman you might remember from the last episode. She flew in from Tromsø. I mean, it's the perfect dichotomy. I mean, you get the Norwegian wilderness, and then you come into these cities, and I've been lucky enough to meet people along the way and be able to share in their inner social circle. So a lot of people ask if cycling alone, if it gets super lonely. And there's examples like this where you get your alone time, but you're always meeting people. But speaking of alone time, Cheyenne from Iran told me about a museum to check out in Trondheim, the University Museum, which was awesome. I've been looking for a good museum on the history of Vikings, and again, I've been saying I haven't been seeing a lot of stuff on the history of the Viking Age, which I think I'm coming to learn is largely because little of it is written and little is known. But this was a cool experience because there was an emphasis on the artifacts that they've dug up in the area. And that's the kind of stuff, you don't have to have it written down. You have literal artifacts being dug up. So I was in Trøndelag for only a couple more days after Trondheim, and now things just seem to be moving fast. So, for lack of anything better to say, I'm gonna just there's like 2 minutes left of footage of Trøndelag, so I'm just gonna let that play out. You can watch that here.
What they do?
She could watch the tree line.